Hey everybody! Are you ready for questions and answers with Ken's Creation?
Yeah! Hey everyone, Ken here with Ken's Creations, and I'm so excited to do this video, and welcome to the question and answer video. So my friend Christopher Allen of Christopher Allen Designs did a Q&A video, and he loved it and really reached out to me and said, you need to do one of these videos. So I said, sure, why not? And I posted the post asking for your questions, and a ton of you guys replied, and I love that. So I have all of your questions here on my iPad. I'm going to go through, and hopefully I selected one of your questions to answer, and we'll just go ahead and get started now. Keep in mind that this video is just for fun, and I hope you enjoy it, but I'm not going to be doing a lot of edits, and I might ramble, because I do that. All right, let's get going. So Jennifer asks, how did you get into crafting? So it's an interesting story. When I was growing up as a kid, I loved everything crafts. And you know, a lot of people say, oh, because you're gay, you just love crafting, which is not necessarily true. But in my case, it was. So I had spin art, I had coloring books, I had all this stuff, and I didn't make great things, but I just loved it. And my mom said, oh, you're so creative. That's amazing. These are beautiful. You need to be an artist. And I just figured that's my mom saying I need to be an artist, because she was a loving, supportive mom. And as I got older, I kind of lost touch of that crafting. So in high school, I didn't do a lot of crafts. I didn't do art. I didn't do pottery or anything like that. But my mom still would always say, you're so creative, do something creative. And then sadly in 2004, she passed away. However, that stayed with me, that motherly voice saying, you're creative, do something. And in 2009, I went on a trip to Disneyland and came back with all of these photos. And I figured, what am I going to do with these photos? And I remember that there was this machine that had these Disney characters, and there was this infomercial of this machine, and these ladies were creating these Disney invites, and there was this little Cricut thing that would come out and go chirp chirp, and I was like, I need that machine. So I asked Sean for it for my birthday, and sure enough, he got me this machine, and it was delivered in 2009, and it sat in my closet for 2 years, or no, a year. I didn't touch it for a year. I was like, this machine is too confusing. There's shift keys. There's all of these little things I have to do. And I just was not into it. And I finally decided, well, you know, he bought this for me. Let me go find that Mickey cartridge. And I designed a few of the Mickey things, but I really wasn't too into it. And it sat on my table. And my best friend Allison came over, and she was sitting at the table, and she goes, what is that? And I said, well, it's this Cricut machine. You can cut things out of it. And she sat there and cut a flower, one flower, and you would think the world stopped. You would think that this was the best thing since sliced bread, because she created this flower. She created 20 of these flowers. I still have them. They're on my Tinkerbell layout. And she got me re-energized in crafting. She said, this is amazing. Think of all the things you can do. You can make crafts. You could do this. And then she was like, use my mom angle. She was like, your mom wants you to do this. And that, of course, was it. I was sold on it. So the whole reason Ken's Creations here is because of Allison. So thank you for that. You can all thank her for that. She's what started this whole mess. All right, the next question is, do you snack while crafting, and what's your favorite go-to snack? I do. Who doesn't snack? This isn't mean to be funny, no pun intended, but I actually like anything fruity. The fruitier, the better. And I know Christopher Allen is dying right now, but it's true. I mean, even right now, as you can see, I have Skittles. I love them. I love eating Skittles, Starbursts, anything fruity. And in fact, right now they just released, Jolly Ranchers has this new thing called Crunch and Chew, and it's amazing. And it starts off hard, and then when you suck on it, it becomes chewy, and it's so good. And that sounds really not right. So I didn't mean for it to sound like that, but it is really good, and you should really, really try them. They're called Crunch and Chews. I love them. All right, so the next thing is, what is your daytime job? Lynn would like to know. It's really not very exciting. So I actually work at a bank, a local bank here in Spokane, Washington, called Washington Trust Bank. I'm the branch manager, and I have the most amazing team that makes my job so easy, fun, lighthearted. We have so much fun there. But ultimately, our job is we take care of customers. So they walk in, and whatever they need, whether it be a checking account, a mortgage, credit card, we want to make sure that they're taken care of and they leave with a smile on their face. And they do most of the time. But every once in a while, you know, they're upset because you are dealing with people's money, and that can get a little touchy. So that's not so fun. However, hopefully I really want to go into the training department again. I've been a trainer in the past. I love to train people. I love doing tutorial videos. So that's something I am challenging myself, is hopefully to become a trainer and train people in the banking world. So I think that would be a lot of fun. So the next question is from Esther, and she wants to know, what is your favorite thing to do when not crafting? That's actually an interesting question, because ever since my blog has taken off this year, which I thank you guys, because you guys have been amazing, amazing, amazing followers, I don't have a lot of free time. I spend a ton of time outside of my normal job working on my videos and blog, whether it be creating the videos, shooting the videos, editing the videos, creating projects, working in Facebook group, answering emails. It takes a lot of time to do that. However, when I do get some free time, I love to spend time with family and friends. I love watching movies and eating popcorn while I watch movies. Discovering music. I'm a big music person. I love all types of music. However, to discover new music is so exciting. But recently, my new addiction is I fell in love with Legos again. So they have these things called Lego modular buildings, which are these Lego buildings that are 3 to 4 stories tall, and they have all these details inside and outside, and you can create this whole city of buildings and people, and it just is such a good release for me to be able to do something creative wise, and really release all of the stress from the crafting world and from my day job, and just put on my headphones, get in the zone, and just build Legos. So yes, I sound like a 5-year-old because I build with Legos and I play with crafts. I know what that sounds like. So next question. Janine wants to know how to balance time with a day job if one wants to make a business out of creations. That's an interesting question. I don't actually have a good answer for that. And the reason why is I never went into this wanting to build a business. It all just kind of happened. I don't actually sell my creations, so anything I make, I personally give to family or friends. So I don't have an Etsy store. I don't sell SVGs. I don't really do any of that stuff. What I do is through my YouTube channel and blog, that's where most of my business comes from. So my advice would be is, you really need to figure out what you want to do, whether it be creating products and selling them, creating videos. The one thing I always see people do is they take on too much. They are trying to do videos, create a stamp line, do affiliate links, do this, do that. And I mean, it's so much. And the ones that I see really successful are ones that say, okay, I love doing all that stuff, but my line of business is going to be stamps, or it's going to be creating videos. So I would encourage you, if you're looking at doing this, to not only figure out the avenue you want to do, but also make sure that you set aside the time and tell your family and friends that you're doing it. When I first started this, I would tell Sean, I have to do a video today, and I'm going to be gone from 12 to 2. But here's what it's going to do for me. This video is going to bring me more followers, and I enjoy doing it. And what that does is it makes them fall in love with it, because most people want you to be successful. Most people want to support you. And so I found out by doing that, my family is just sitting there and rooting along with me. And my friend Allison is sitting there saying, yeah, you can do this and do this and do that. So I would really encourage you to do that. All right. Trick would like to know, where would you love to live? I actually like living in Spokane. The one drawback about it is I'm not a big winter person. So I don't like the cold weather. I don't like how it gets dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I would love to live in a place where it's sunny and it's warm, but not humid. I don't like humid weather. I actually would love to live on a cruise ship. I think that's amazing that you get to wake up in a different place every morning. There's unlimited food, which might not be a good thing, but it's fun. And it's fun. It's in tropical weather. Who wouldn't want to be on a cruise? Well, I guess Alaska cruise is non tropical weather, but I don't want to go on one of those. I only want tropical ones. So that's where I would want to live. Pretty much anywhere where it's warm, but not humid. So Florida is out for me. No Florida. Susie would like to know, how many hours a week do you spend crafting? That's actually a interesting question, because I don't spend a lot of time crafting anymore. I used to do a lot of crafting. However, when my YouTube channel started taking off, I spent a lot more time doing videos. I spent a lot of time on the blog. I spend a ton of time answering questions from you guys. I probably get 20 to 25 emails a day asking questions about either the Silhouette Cameo, the Brother Scan and Cut, the Cricut Explorer, and I absolutely love it. I wouldn't change that for the world. However, it does cut into the time that I actually get to spend crafting. So I probably spend 6 hours crafting a week and another 30 hours doing all of my other avenues. So if I had to change one thing, it would definitely be to craft more and to dive more deep into that, because it's definitely something that, unfortunately, because of my other avenues, I've kind of suffered in. So it is what it is. The next thing, Diane wants to know, how did you learn to be such a great designer? Oh, Diane, that's so sweet. So this question's interesting because I don't really consider myself a designer. I consider people that are designers that design SVG files or product lines or stamp lines. I do find myself being a designer and taking their designs and creating my own projects. And really the funny thing about that is it all is in the eye of the beholder. A funny story is I one time spent 6 to 8 hours on a project. I loved this project. I put my blood, sweat, and tears in this project. I thought it was the best thing anyone has ever created. Like, no one could top this project. I put it on Facebook and it got like 5 likes, no comments. And I don't know why I let Facebook control how successful something is, but I do. Like, I always go back and look at the Facebook likes to see if someone likes something. And I was devastated. And so a week later, I did this project. It took me like 10 minutes and I posted it on Facebook and it got like 102 likes. And I was so confused because I was like, okay, I don't understand. And then it dawned on me that I'm not doing these projects for everyone else. I'm doing these projects for the person I'm giving it to. And that's what's important. So when I'm doing a project now, I don't really put a lot of thought into, okay, are people going to like this? Is it going to get a lot of attention? Is it going to get a lot of likes on Facebook? Because it all changed for me when I noticed that. I noticed that it really didn't matter, that a project could really spark creativity in this person, where this project could spark emotion in this person. And that to me is a great designer, is being able to inspire people across the board, not just one individual, but you post something and that project might not do something, but the next project might say, okay, I love that. So to me, that's a great designer. And I absolutely love doing it. All right. The next question is from Anita. What other crafts do you work with and what is your favorite? So I work with a ton of different crafts. My favorite though is paper crafting. I love paper crafting. I love everything about it. I love shading with inks. I love cutting it. I love layering it. But recently I've gotten into stamps, which is something I never thought I would. I was never a stamper. I didn't like stamping. I didn't like coloring the stamps. But recently, ever since becoming a close to my heart rep, I've fallen in love with stamping. So that's an avenue I've went down. Mixed media is another one. I love mixed media. To be able to paint with it and to do different things and heat embossing it. The one thing I haven't done that I want to get into is sewing. I did get a sewing machine for Christmas, so I'm really excited, but sewing scares the hell out of me. I don't know why. I just see some stuff that people create with sewing machines, and it absolutely is astonishing to me, and it's such a talent. And I think it's sadly one of those talents that a lot of people are losing because we live in a world where not as many people need to sew anymore. So it's something that I personally said this year I'm going to learn how to sew. So if you don't see any videos on sewing, that means I failed miserably. However, hopefully you guys will start seeing some projects with some sewing in it or some sewing projects, because I would love to learn it. So Debbie wants to know, does your partner craft with you? And with all of your talent, I would love to see your home. I bet it's fabulous. So first part of the question is no, Sean does not craft with me. In fact, he supports me in different ways. He does all of my videoing. So he's the one that shoots all my video, sets up my lighting for my video, does the close-ups on my video shots. However, when it comes to crafting, he wants nothing to do with it. He doesn't have a crafty bone in his body. I think we've done maybe one project together, and it was, for both of us, the worst experience. I have patience for people and tutorials, but when it comes to him, I have no patience. I don't know why. It's so mean because I just want him to get it, and it's like, I think it's because I sit there and I'm like, I can be mean to him maybe. I don't know what it is, but he doesn't have a crafting bone in his body. He would much rather be working on cars or cooking, which is great because those are things that I obviously don't do well. So for me, it's a great release, but it's definitely something he has no encouragement in wanting to join ever at all. As for my house, I would love to do a video sometime to show you guys my house. I don't like white walls. I don't like blank. So everything here is very colorful. Everything on every inch of the wall has something. So maybe in future, I'll do a video if that's something people want to see. So Michelle wants to know favorite time of day and why, and what's your favorite meal? So my favorite time of the day, is actually right after I'm done working out. After work, I go work out at the local gym. And then when I come home, I open the garage door. And as soon as I open the garage door, my dogs can hear that I'm coming. I have 3 golden retrievers. They're my life. I love them. And what ends up happening is they hear that garage door and all 3 of them rush the door and they just sit there. So when I walk up to the door, I can actually hear them panting and their little tails wagging and little whines. And I open the door and I just see these 3 beautiful golden retrievers, all with little panting smiles and their 3 little tails wagging back and forth. And it fills me with so much love. No matter how hard my day is, no matter how bad or stressful it was, seeing the 3 of them when I come home and how happy they are to see me just makes my day so much better. And I live for it. They are with me when I craft. They are with me at all times. So that's my favorite time of the day. And then it's funny because 3 feet past them is Sean. So it's like all these dogs are there and I spend like 10, 15 minutes saying hello to them and getting my love. And then I'm like, oh, hey, Sean, how was your day? So it sounds so mean. But as for my favorite meal, so Sean's actually a chef. He went to school to become a culinary arts chef. So he makes amazing things and I eat very well and he does great flavors. However, one of my favorite meals is a simple taco salad. We've had that for 15 years where you just take chips and ground beef and put some lettuce and cheese and ranch and sour cream and mix it all up and eat it. And nothing fancy, but it's literally one of my favorite meals ever. We probably have it once a week. That's how much we like it. I'll give you the recipe. It's really easy. You really don't need a recipe. Just throw it in a bowl and stir it up. All right. So is it your goal to be a full-time crafter and not have a regular job in the future? That's from Stacy. You know, it's interesting because when I first started this, I never dreamed of making this into a business. It was just a craft. And slowly one thing led to another. And I started, adding ads on my blog and the YouTube channel. However, I never said this is going to be my full-time job. And it's kind of scary, to be honest, because, right now I enjoy it. I love making YouTube videos. I love, doing my crafts. And I'm afraid that if I was to quit my job and make this my full-time job, I might not love it anymore. I might look at it as a job versus something fun to do. So that's scary in itself. Second of all is, it is a lot of money to support yourself and your family. And if I quit my job, you have to look at doing benefits and stuff like that. Now, you can all support me, and you all do support me by watching my YouTube videos or by shopping my affiliate links on my blog, which is my Amazon site and my Close to My Heart store. So you could absolutely support me, and I love you for that. But my true dream, my true passion is actually in the video editing and presenting product. I would love nothing more than to have a show where literally I go across the nation, I find craft rooms of people that are in despair, that are just like in a closet, and we have 24 to 48 hours to turn it around and make it a beautiful craft room with a machine and all of this stuff and reorganize it. And I think that would be such a fun TV show. And I would love to host something like that. I just think it would be amazing to do craft room reveals for people and just change their lives. I would also love to be a presenter on QVC or HSN. I love reviewing products. I love digging deep into them and recommending it to certain people. So I think that would be fun. So I have more of a dream of leaving my full-time job and pursuing something of that sort, creating TV shows, creating content, doing video editing. I would love that. So I think that's more my dream than actually becoming a full-time crafter. So the next question is, Ken, I would love to know how to make tutorial videos, how to edit them, and what to use to create your video, like the camera you use and the software to upload them. So I love this question because I love making videos. It's my favorite thing to do. So Sean shoots my video. I'm very fortunate, like I said, that he shoots all of my videos. And it's quite interesting because when I first got into YouTube, a lot of different people do videos different. I mean, you have some people that just sit in front of a camera like now and talk, and people love it. That's how they learn their tutorials. You have some people that have the camera up above and you see what they're doing with their hands, and you learn that way. For me, I just really like that idea of having a camera guy in front of me. I'm talking to the camera. He's doing all the shooting, so I don't really have to worry about where's the camera. So he actually shoots everything on a Canon T5i, which does both still and video. So all of that happens. So once he's done shooting the video, I actually upload it to my MacBook Pro. And that's the reason I got the MacBook Pro, is it does so good with video. I do all of my editing in Final Cut Pro, and that's where I do all my transitions. I add all the music, the titling, shorten the clips, make sure everything is cohesive, and then I just upload it to YouTube. So I love it. If you have any questions on video and editing and how to get started, reach out to me because it really is one of my passions. So the next question is, so do you listen to music while crafting, and what do you rock out to? Who doesn't listen to music when they craft? It's interesting because I love all sorts of different types of music. However, when I craft, I generally stick to two genres. I love pop music. Actually, I love bubblegum pop. Britney Spears, Kelly Clarkson, all of that, Pink, all of that kind of stuff that has just really good beats and bass and catchy rhythms. I just love them, and they put me in a fun mood. However, when I craft, I mostly am looking for stuff to inspire me, stuff to make me feel the inspiration and come up with ideas. And I find a lot of that actually in film score music. It's instrumental music, and you can either get certain films that you like, or there's certain specific groups that do it. Like there's one group called Two Steps from Hell, and all they do is theater music and that background music. And some of it is just absolutely beautiful. Full orchestra arrangements, beautiful instruments. There's actual ladies singing certain hymns in different languages in it, and I just love it because it gives me so much inspiration. However, when I watch other people's YouTube videos, I love it because sometimes you'll hear the music in the background, and you'll hear country music, or you'll hear rock music. Sometimes you'll hear Christian music, and I just love it because it really does show you that person's personality and just how they just get into crafting, and it takes them to their craft zone. So I love it. So the next question from Kara is, what started it all, and what was the first thing you crafted? So earlier I told you why I got into crafting, and I kind of touched base on my first craft project. It's kind of funny because it was the Disney Mickey and Friends, and it was not good. I don't know if you've never used this cartridge. The pieces are so small. Like Goofy's tongue, I mean, is literally like it's tiny. It's tinier than the Skittle. And so I was using kids construction paper, which is horrible. But I was using kids construction paper and Elmer's glue. And I remember getting so frustrated because these pieces were so small. The colors weren't even close to what they should have been. And I'm using Elmer's glue. So it was a bloody nightmare. It was so frustrating. The pieces ripped because the construction paper was literally paper. I mean, it was horrible construction paper. I got it at the dollar store. And it just was not fun. I do have them. I'll show them here. But basically, they turned out okay. I didn't have all the right colors, so some of their eyes are weird. Like, I think it's Donald's eyes are kind of yellow, so it looks like there's something medically wrong with him. But it was my first project, and I'm still, it's funny because I look back on that project and I'm very proud because it's what really started it. And it really kind of got me going in the crafting world. So the next question is basically, how do you get to be a product review for Cricut or any other company for that matter? Do you need an audience for your video? This is an interesting question because I never went out to be a Cricut product review. It just kind of happened. I had the Cricut machine. I got rid of it because I moved on to the Silhouette Cameo. And when the Cricut Explorer came out, I had a hard time thinking, do I need this machine or not? And so I thought to myself, other people must be thinking this too. They must be thinking, which machine's better? If I only have $250 to spend on a machine, should I go with the Silhouette Cameo or the Cricut Explorer? So I said, let's do a video on it. So I did a video on it, put it on my YouTube channel, and I literally forgot about it. And then I started seeing on the Facebook feeds my video coming up. People saying, oh, did you see this video? You can, get an idea of what machine to go with. And I went back and looked, and it had like 34,000 views. And that's really when my YouTube channel started taking off. That's when my blog started getting a lot more exposure. And I think through that, Cricut saw the video and they reached out to me and they said, hey, we saw your video. We like the honest feedback and we're looking for people to give us that feedback on a regular basis. Would you be interested? So that's how I got into it. I don't know necessarily what they look for. I don't know what requirements there are. They don't really tell us that, but I just say that the more people you build in your audience, the better you're going to get received by other people and companies. And that's what they're looking for, is just getting their product in front of as many people as they can. So these last few questions are just some fun questions that people just want to get to know me. And they're just real quick questions. So I'll just give you some really quick answers and hopefully you like the funness in it. So first one is these are from Katrina. What's your shoe size? I wear a size 12 shoe. And it's hard to find. Let me tell you, I hate it because anytime you go to clearance or anything, there's never 12 shoes. So it frustrates me beyond belief, but 12. All right. What was your first job? I loved my first job. I actually was at a fast food restaurant. It's called Zips. It's a local restaurant here in town. And it's kind of like a McDonald's, but a lot nicer. And it was just fun. I was just at the cash register. I hated being in the kitchen, so they never put me there. Is pizza a breakfast food? No, it's not. I don't get that craze. I don't get how people like cold pizza out of their fridge for morning. I'm all about cereal, so I would never eat cold pizza. Sorry. Have you ever been in a car accident? This is funny because before I did this video, I had never been in a car accident, and then I posted this question, post your questions here. I saw the question, have you ever been in a car accident? I was like, oh, that'll be an easy one to answer, no. And that same day, someone rear-ended me. I could not believe it. So I'm not blaming this video on me getting in a car accident, but it is kind of interesting. Katrina, it is interesting now I'm in a car accident. All right, if your place was on fire, which machine would you grab first? Well, first of all, I'd grab my computer because that's where all my SVG files are, and I have a ton of them, so that would be the first thing I'd grab. However, if I had to grab a machine, I would probably grab my Cricut Explorer, but I have enough to carry 3, so I would grab my Cricut Explorer, my Silhouette Cameo, and my Brother Scan and Cut. Because Brother Scan and Cut, I'm actually really impressed with how it cuts stamps, so I would need those 3 machines. I couldn't live without any of them. So Omar, who is, if you guys don't know, Omar's my blog boyfriend. He has an amazing blog with free SVGs. I'll give you the link. He gave me a ton of questions. So my blog boyfriend wants to know, favorite place in the world. My favorite place in the world is actually Disneyland. I love it. I've been there twice. Never been to Disney World, but I want to go. It is literally the happiest place on earth. Like, you can be a kid there. You can have fun there. You can go on all the rides. I love Space Mountain. I would go back there in a heartbeat. Like, if I had a choice of going back to Maui or Disneyland, Disneyland would win hands down. Loved it. Pizza or hot dogs? I love pizza. Pizza should be a food category on its own, especially like meat lovers or pepperoni. However, when I go to Costco, I love hot dogs, which is weird because they have pizza there, but something about a Costco hot dog for $1.50, you can't get better. So there you go. My favorite color of clothes is black because it's slimming, and that's all I'm saying on that. Jammies or no jammies? Omar. So as soon as I get home, I do put on pajamas. I love pajamas, especially like flannel or really soft pajamas. But when I go to bed, I get really hot. So that's all I'm saying on that. Boxers or briefs? I wear boxers. Briefs, I've heard, are not good for reproduction, and you never know when I might need to reproduce. Tucked or loose sheets? I hate tuck sheets. I like the freedom of moving around. I like to be able to not have to pull my sheets out to move around, so I hate tuck sheets. So loose sheets all the way. Vanilla or chocolate? Chocolate all the way, but I like froyo better than ice cream, and I like cookies and cream. So good. Coffee or tea? I'm not a big tea person. I love coffee. I have a Keurig machine. I'm sure you guys know because I did that Keurig video. However, I love coffee. I love to drink coffee when I craft. I love coffee in the morning. I love coffee in the evening. It's probably why I don't sleep very well, because I have a very hard time sleeping. Like, I literally go to bed and it takes me 5 hours to sleep. Probably because I drink too much coffee. Probably. Chick flicks or action movies? Come on. Really? Chick flicks. All the way. Meryl Streep or Julia Roberts? Meryl Streep. She is an amazing actress, and she's, I think, up for another Academy Award, which is like a bazillion. Bette Midler or Barbara Streisand? That's a little bit of a stereotypical question, but I will answer it. Bette Midler. In fact, I actually loved her. The reason I fell in love with her was because of Beaches, and I played that soundtrack non-stop. And then I think my mom figured out that she was going to have a son-in-law instead of a daughter-in-law. Let's see here. Pitt or Cruz? Pitt, because Cruz is a little bit crazy right now. Gandalf or Magneto? Gandalf, because Lord of the Rings rocks. My favorite book, movie, and song. My favorite book is actually from The Red Fern Grows. I love it. Such a beautiful book. It's very sad, but it just really concretes the relationship between a person and their dog, and I love that. My favorite movie is actually Moulin Rouge. I love that movie. It is brilliant. It is amazing how they took contemporary songs and put them into a movie, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So Moulin Rouge. And my favorite song is actually from Moulin Rouge. So that whole soundtrack's amazing, but there's one particular song in there that is just absolutely beautiful, and I'll play you a piece, but basically I'll give you the link and you will fall in love with it. So yeah, the last question I have is, well, I have a couple more questions. How long have you been into crafting? I've been doing crafting now since 2009. Do you scrapbook? I don't really scrapbook anymore. I've kind of fallen in love with card making, and scrapbooking, I give it to scrapbookers because it's a big project. I still do it, just not as much as I used to. What was your first craft love? I would have to say my first craft love would have been scrapbooking, which is funny because I don't do it anymore, but I loved it in the beginning. I made my Disney scrapbook and I loved it. Were either of your parents into crafting? My mom was. She did amazing crafts. In fact, I have most of them still, and that's probably where I get it. She did these amazing snowmen and Santa Claus, and they were wrapped around a can, and they used this white fluffy material, and they're beautiful. She did crocheting and knitting, and she knit our Christmas socks. She was so crafty and so talented and beautiful, and I miss her dearly. And have you tried out the Cricut app on the iPad? I have, and you're going to love it when it comes out. And the last question I have is kind of funny because it's a craft saving money tip. And they want to know how to save money. And the answer is stop watching YouTube, because that's where, I swear to God, all of my money is went. When I first started crafting, I would get on YouTube to get ideas, and I'd watch a tutorial, and they would use either a tool or a project, and it would be something I could not live without. I would instantly go look at HSN and look at their demonstration video and fall in love with it, and I would need to have it. And not like I need to get it eventually, like I need to go to Joann's and get it right now. And if they're out of it, I'm going to go to Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and I will find it today. And most of the time, I would get to the store, and there'd be like one left, which would concrete the idea that this is a must-have item because they're obviously selling out of it, so I need to have it, and I need to have it now. And so I spent so much money, man. I had the Xyron Design Runner. I've had every crafting machine, and I never use it. I would buy these things, and they would just sit there, and I would never use it. So one tip is stop watching YouTube, which is kind of funny because I have a YouTube channel where I review products and tell you to buy them or not, and I'm telling you now to stop watching it. But it truly is true. I mean, if you want to save money, stop watching it, because then you don't have to worry about it. All right. So, I think that is it. If I missed your question, I am so sorry. There was a ton of questions, and hopefully I'll be doing a second video. And plus, all of them would have been an hour-long video, and it's already a half-hour long. And if you've made it through the whole video, I congratulate you, because that's a long video. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me with the questions. Make sure you're checking out my blog over at creativeken.com. Make sure you're following my YouTube channel. Make sure to check out my Close to My Heart. You can check that out at kenscreation.ctmh.com. Any of those avenues will support me, and I will eternally be grateful for you. Thank you so much for the questions. I had a blast doing this. I hope this gives you an idea a little bit about my personal life, and hopefully I'll do this again soon. Thanks guys so much. I adore every single one of you. Go out there and create something magical. Bye.